Okay, this is step 6, where we start to import the data that we've collected on the scanner. So we're going to go to stock take, and what we need to make sure is that the scanner is actually set to the main menu. Just wake it up if it's gone to sleep. Make sure that your Windows Mobile Device Center is actually loaded and that the scanner is connected. Then we can minimize that out of the way. We also need to make sure that the USB cable has been connected into the PC and also into the bottom of the scanner. But if it didn't connect, then that might be why it's not connecting. All right, so now we're back at the main menu. We're going to upload the count data from the scanner. So we just click on this and we tell it again that we want to upload that data. And there we go. The items that we scanned earlier in count stock have now been brought into the grid here. We can see that we had scanned item number 120 with a quantity of 5 and item 400 with a quantity of 6. To allow you to save this data and look at it before it's committed into AccountRight, you need to press the Save button. In this case, we're going to give an example that we don't press the Save button and how we can get that data back without re-uploading. So we're going to close this and we're going to say, no, we're not going to save it. And then we realize that we haven't done that and we need to get that information back. So we're going to go back into Upload Count Data from the scanner. We're going to go to the little button down here that says Re-import. Click on that. And then we have the file that we've just updated and it has the date, 2021, February 18, and the time and date that the file was started, which was around about 10 o'clock. So we are going to click on that, open it up, and it will tell you. This will process the data already uploaded from the scanner again. Are you sure this is what you want to do? In this case, we're going to go yes, and there it is back in again. All our re-import functions are available within each of our uploads. So just look for the re-import button if you need to start again. This time we're going to save the data, tells us that it's saved okay, and then we're going to close out of that window. Now this is where we can click on the next button to view the count data. If we maximize that up, we can see that this was what we counted today. It was sitting with a minus 123 in MYOB. The value on hand is $5,000. The value counted is 227, which means that we have a loss sitting in there of over $5,000. So we might want to, in a normal scenario, go and have a look and see if maybe we've miscounted when we've stock taken, if there's stock somewhere else. For the pottery clock, we've counted, there was 1 on hand, we've counted 6. The quantity variance is 5, so we found 5 extra that we didn't have counted within MYOB itself. So that results in a value of a positive of $285. In this scenario, you can actually, if you've miscounting something, you can actually add an item by the barcode. So we might go in and just add an extra item to that. Scanner's just reconnected, and we're going to say we counted 15 of those. So now we have that in as well. So it said the quantity that it thought it had on hand, or that MYOB is recording, is 22. We've counted 15. So again, that's a minus value. The other thing that you can do, this is showing the counted items. We can actually click on here and see all the items that weren't counted. You can then click on one of those items, add it to the counted items and say, I've got 4 of those as well. Once we've done that, if you click back on the counted items, that's now in there. Once you've gone through everything and you're quite happy with it, then you can actually save that. It saves okay, and we can close that. We might want to have a look now at the variance report. So this will come up and allow you to either do the report with the counted items only. So at the moment that's checked. We're only going to have a report on the counted items. And you could do both, which is what we normally default to. It's the counted items and the items that were counted that have variances. So we'll do this one first and have a look. And if you remember previously, all our reports are previewed before they're printed. So you can actually see these were the counted items with stock variances only. If we actually close down that report, so you can print that to your printer. And as previously set up, that's going to go to our A4 printer. We'll just cancel out of that, close that window down. This time we're going to actually untick counted items, untick that. Let's just go and have a look. You can actually see that the quantity counted is zeros. There's some zeros in there because we didn't count them. And this is your total variances sitting down here at the moment. So again, it gives you a visual of what is happening with your stock before you commit it back to MYOB AccountRight. And at all times, if you want to go and change it, go back into View Count Data and you can change that quantity counted to what it should be. So this time we're going to change that to 128. And therefore, if we actually have a look at that now and have a look at the variances, you can actually see that that variance on that is non-existing. It's not showing up on this one at all because it was equal to the amount that MYOB was holding as the value. But if we actually turn that off and print the report, you can now see that there was 128 on hand in MYOB AccountRight and the quantity counted was 128, so there was no variance. The last thing that we will do is commit the count data to AccountRight. So everything is correct. We're ready to commit our stock take. Press on the commit count data to AccountRight. It will record a transaction memo and it will actually put in there that it's come from AccountRight. So we're going to move on and just hit commit. Gives you a message that says this will update the item stock levels in AccountRight with the stock count from ARScan by doing an inventory adjustment. Is that okay? And we can say yes. It's also asking us here, do you want to set the stock on hand quantity for all items that you haven't counted to zero? So you need to be really careful on that, particularly if you're doing a partial stock take, because you might be just stock taking certain items and not your whole stock listing. So most of the time, unless it's a full stock take, we really want to say no. We don't want to set the ones that we haven't counted to zero. So we're going to say no. Once this process is started, you cannot interrupt it. It will just keep going. This is where you need to be very careful and make sure that you're really sure that this is what you want to do. So we're going to say, yes, we want to do this. It goes back and it gets a check from AccountRight to see if anything's massively changed. And then it does its processing of the inventory. It then re-gets the data so that the information is correct back into ARScan. So that's the end of the stock take. We're now going to go to inventory and we're going to go through the uploading the adjust inventory data that we previously did on the scanner. I'm just waking the scanner back up so that it reconnects. And again, we're making sure that we're sitting on that main menu. So now we're going to minimize down the mobile device center. Going to upload the adjust inventory. Once again, this is the memo that will be created. You have your re-import button, you have your help button here, which we'll just have a brief look at, which takes you directly to the upload and record adjust inventory data help screen. So we'll close that down And now we're going to actually upload the adjust inventory data from the scanner. And that was the adjustment that we did earlier. Once we're happy with that, we can actually press record, and it will actually go through and adjust that instantaneously back into AccountRight. So we'll now close that window. You can see that the grid has gone, but if you really needed to check what you did, you can actually click on the re-import, click on ARScan, open that, it will bring it back up again. In this instance, we don't want to record it again, so we're going to close, and it will tell you they have not been recorded, record now. I'm going to say no in this instance because it was just an example. The next thing that we'll do is receive any of the goods received items into a bill. So we'll click on that button and we can select a supplier that we might do, and we can upload the received items from the scanner. And once again, it'll populate into the grid how many were received for that item. We can then put a purchase order into there if you like, and you can actually have the supplier invoice number if you so choose. Once we've done that, we can actually print a report just so that we've got it, so we know what we've done. Once again, it's an A4 report, so it'll go to the printer automatically that you've selected previously, or you can actually select another printer if you so choose. We're going to print that off, close down the window, and then we're going to record that, and that's now gone through into MYOB AccountRight. The last item is the item sales. We're going to again, make sure that the scanner is set to the main menu. We're going to upload the sales data from the scanner. Once again, we're going to upload that sales data. And these are the sales that we did. So you can see here that Alan has scanned both the sales. One is an invoice. We can actually go and have a look at that and what was scanned within that. And the other one was an order. So this customer was Chelsea, as you can remember, and then this one was James Cameron. So we can we've uploaded the sales data, we have it in here. You can also see that if the sale had actually been recorded and then deleted on the scanner. There is the ability to print labels if you wanted to put it on a plastic bag or that for each order of what was scanned. So you can print those labels from within there, and also you can print a report of both those sales items. So one was the sales invoice and one was the sales order. All along it has the customer, who it was served for, what time it was sold, the invoice number, the receipt number, you know, what was sold, the amount, what was paid and how it was paid, and the GST component. Once again, it's an A4 print, so you can actually just go to your printer and print that report off. Once you've done that, you close the window. You've got the information still sitting here. We need to record that through to MYOB AccountRight. So we press record, and it says that it is already going through. And these haven't gone through because they've actually been processed already. With that invoice number, and we did have the fact that you couldn't use duplicates. So that's one thing that you could do. Once you've actually done that, we can re-import that. So we're going to go back and re-import that sales. And if we wanted to reprocess that through, we could. Otherwise, we just close, and these sales have not been recorded, but as you've realised, we can always get the data back in again to actually re-import that. So what we're going to do now is actually go up into Tools and into Options. We're going to say that we'll allow the duplicate invoices. Go back into here, re-import our sale. open it up. Yes, we want to re-import it because it didn't go through before. Now we want to record it through. And it's happily putting those through. And that's all. If you have any questions on any of the functions that we've gone through today, or you're not sure, either have a look in the help, which actually has all of the bits on stock taking, the introduction to it, counting the stock, the adjust inventory, the receive items. You can do it with the scanner, how to upload and record that, the item sales, signing on to the scanner, all those things that we went through today.